What if I told you there are 4 things in the Philippines that most travelers completely miss? Are you ready to explore them? In this video, I'm going to reveal what these 4 things are, why they're so special, and how you can experience them to make your trip to the Philippines one to remember. But beware, number 3 might just send chills down your spine, although I promise it is the coolest thing I've ever done. But before we dive in, let me explain why so many people miss these spots. Some are off the beaten path, while others are slightly more well-known. Don't worry about the huge crowds though, as even the popular spots are still under the radar for many travelers. Their remote locations and the time and effort needed to get there means that simply most travelers don't even know about them, or they can't be bothered to make the effort to go there. Well, their loss is your gain. But here is the catch. As I let you in on these incredible places, they're likely to become more popular. So what are you waiting for? Right, yeah. I actually need to tell you the spots. After spending 2 amazing months exploring the Philippines, I can confidently say it is my favorite destination yet. From stunning beaches, the friendly people, and being easy on the wallet, this country seriously has it all. Speaking of stunning beaches, let's dive into the first spot you cannot miss in the Philippines. Now, if I'm honest, this place was the biggest surprise of my entire trip. It's an absolutely beautiful space, but with a mysterious twist that even keeps some locals away. This island is known for its stories of voodoo and witchcraft, which is why many Filipinos don't want to go here, but it's still got that authentically local feel to it. But if you're like me and don't believe in all that rubbish, then what you will find is a paradise perfect for relaxing. Imagine spending your day exploring stunning waterfalls and then ending it by lazing in a hammock underneath coconut trees, watching a banging sunset. Now that sounds like a bit of me. So where is this unbelievable place? Nestled in the Cebu region, taking a 5-hour ferry from the main city will take you to the island of Siquijor. Now believe me, the journey is definitely worth it. My top picks on the island are Lugnason Falls for some cool rope swings, Salugdong Beach for some crazy cliff jumping, and then ending it with Palaton Beach for a banging sunset. Now, while Siquijor Island is perfect for a bit of downtime, I know some of you out there crave a bit of activity and a bit of excitement, so that is why the next spot is perfect. This island is quickly gaining a reputation as being the next must-visit destination in the world. Give it a bit of time and this is going to be on everyone's travel itineraries, and you'll see why. I tell you what, I really did not want to leave this island. But just as a warning, this place made me feel seriously uncool. The locals? Let me tell you, I had a few man crushes going on whilst I was here. They got so much swag with their long hair, rocking around with their surfboards, and not to mention when they're actually on the waves, they make surfing look so easy. And then there's me, falling off the board every 2 seconds, getting a face full of ocean. Nah, I'm only joking. I actually found standing up on the surfboard a lot easier than I expected. So I definitely recommend trying out surfing, as you might just surprise yourself. So for those of you craving a bit more action, you need to hit up the surf capital of the Philippines, the island of Siargao. I highly recommend checking out Ocean 9 in the area of Santa Fe for surf lessons, beginner waves, and beach club vibes. And if you don't fancy the surfing, it's still a great place just to hang out. My top picks on the island, apart from the surfing, are exploring Tanyabang Cave for a real adventure, and to hit up the wake park on a Sunday where they've got a DJ and free rides with a drinks purchase. Even if you're not gonna have a go of the wakeboard, it's still a great place just to go and watch others fall off after a few beers. And then you can treat yourself to what might be the best ice cream in the whole of Southeast Asia at Halika. The salted caramel Oreo, I still think about it now, it is so good. And that is just the beginning. Siargao offers loads of day trips to nearby lagoons and islands. Just look at that, that is unbelievable. The easiest way to get to the island of Siargao is by plane, with loads of flights arriving daily from various cities across the Philippines. You can also take a ferry, but be prepared as it can take up to a couple of days depending on where you're coming from. Surfers are always on the lookout for the perfect wave, but something they also need to be looking out for is sharks, which leads me onto the next spot you cannot miss. During my travels, I met so many cool people, which is what some say is the best part about traveling, and I couldn't agree more. So whilst I was in the Philippines, I was chatting to a fellow backpacker, and they told me a story, and in my head, I was thinking, I cannot leave the Philippines without doing that. Even though I had so many questions and was a bit nervous, I was absolutely buzzing. So I made my way to the small island of Malapascua in order to do my scuba diving courses. So after a few days, the real adventure began. And although I was a bit nervous, it turned out to honestly be the best experience I've ever had. a once in a lifetime kind of thing. And once we were in the ocean, we went down, and there I see it. What I came all this way to see, a fresher shark. And then more and more just started popping out from all directions. It was honestly unbelievable to be surrounded by these awesome and thankfully harmless creatures. Without a doubt, the coolest thing I've done on my entire trip. Malapascua Island, also located in the Cebu region, is accessed by a 4-hour bus ride from the main city, where they just cram you into a minibus, and yeah, there's no room. So if you're a bit tall, be prepared to have no leg room at all. And then you then hop on a 30-minute boat over to the island. Beyond the shark experience, the island of Malapascua is honestly so beautiful, and it's got a genuine local vibe to it. But don't expect fancy hotels. This is one of the reasons why many tourists do not visit it. But speaking of fancy hotels, you want to visit the next destination ASAP. It is still massively off the beaten path and remains largely untouched by mass tourism, but that is all due to change very, very soon. I'd seen pictures of this place on the internet before going, so my expectations were honestly so high. But let me tell you, it did not disappoint. But how would you feel if I told you that these islands are so remote that you might have to stay in a tent? Don't let that scare you off just yet. Let me show you what these islands actually look like. Roll the drone shots. So now I've got your attention. Visiting these islands feels like stepping into a dream. You can explore beautiful sandbars, swim in crystal clear turquoise waters, and find deserted islands with only coconut trees and loads of turtles. This is one of the most untouched parts of the Philippines, with hardly any tourists, so it is a real hidden gem. So in the far depths of the Palawan region, you will find the most beautiful place I have ever been to, Balabac. But as I mentioned, big changes are coming. There are currently plans in the mix to build an airport here, which will make it so much easier to visit. Because right now, getting there means a 6-hour bus from the city of Puerto Princesa, which is then followed by a boat ride to the islands, which can take about a couple of hours. And if camping isn't your thing, then you might want to wait for the luxury resorts that are being built here. But for me, exploring this area in its natural, untouched state made the experience even more special, even if we did have to sleep in a tent. Right, so now you should be set with the hidden gems in the Philippines. But if you're looking for a country that's maybe a little bit easier to travel, somewhere like Thailand, then this Thai island might have all that you're looking for.